name's Gabby.
I'm Charlotte.
And this is our second 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz of the week. Charlotte, what is going on? We haven't been able to get this truck for months, and suddenly we get them both in 2 weeks, or 1 week actually.
Yeah, and that's because today we want to give a huge thank you to Barry. He's actually a subscriber. He reached out to us. He said, I picked up my new Santa Cruz XRT yesterday, and he very graciously donated his time and his vehicle for us to actually film it for you guys today, and we're so excited about it. So we could not have done this video for you guys without Barry. So thank you so much to him. But in today's video, we do get to give you guys a full and complete breakdown of this newly designed Santa Cruz, but also a new trim for Canada.
Yeah, first time for an XRT.
Yeah, so what features are we talking about today?
Well, it's not exactly features. It's more so the appearance when it comes to XRT. However, this is a nice middle trim where you do get a lot more tech and some extra interior comfort as well too. So when you think XRT, you think bold, rugged design, but you'd be surprised that we actually get a little bit more of a luxury for our interior.
Definitely.
So, shall we take a look?
Let's go.
Woohoo! All right, starting off with the price point. Charlotte, what is the MSRP?
$47,499, I believe.
Yes, and just like what I said earlier on, this is a middle trim level. So we have one trim below, which if you didn't check out Tuesday's live video, that's what it was, and then one trim level up, the ultimate. However, I will say if you're someone who values tech and wants a vehicle that looks bold, I don't think it gets much bolder than this. This paint color is called Canyon Red. It's brand new for this model and it looks fantastic on the XRT. You'll notice a lot of dark accents as well too. So this entire grille is a nice matte black. Your Hyundai emblem is massive and it's flat face. So it's kind of almost stamped into the grille itself. It has more, it's still matte, but it has more of a metal-like design. Charlotte, I don't even know if it picks up on camera, you guys. But
it's kind of more of a satin finish.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. You'll notice the Santa Cruz of this year also has much more of a squared off look when it comes to both the daytime running lights and the grille itself, when in the previous generation, everything kind of flowed a bit more. Flowed in a nice, stylish way. This looks a lot more intense, a lot more. Heck yeah. Now for the daytime running lights, when they are on, you can see they are bold, they are bright, they're LEDs. However, when you shut the vehicle off, they blend in perfectly with the rest of the design of the grille. So they're kind of a hidden style. I used to call them angel wings, but now they're more like blocks. Bold blocks. For the headlamps, they are also full LEDs. You do get intelligent high beam assist as well, so if you are someone who travels in a lot of rural roads, you'll definitely appreciate the fact that your vehicle is smart enough to turn on its high beams and shut them off when there's other drivers. You may also notice our color matched tow hooks. So right up in our front bumper, we have two heavy duty tow hooks, and these things are the real deal, seriously. I tried pulling this car. Didn't work, I'm not strong enough, but these held up real nice. The rest of the design, it's still a lot of darkness, but it contrasts really well with the exterior paint. You do get a little bit of shine, however, thanks to the dark chrome bottom portion right near your skid plate, and you do get an off-centered radar sensor. So that radar sensor is going to start on this trim level. It's going to give you not only advanced smart cruise control, but also advanced forward collision avoidance. So this vehicle is going to be able to pick up risks of collisions while you're making a turn at a junction or intersection. It's also going to work on pedestrians and cyclists as well too. So whether you're driving this vehicle on country roads or in the city, it's always keeping an extra eye out just to make sure it's warning you of any impeding threats. Another thing I want to point out, it's going to be a little bit hard to see, but right underneath the Hyundai emblem, we have a forward-facing camera. Now this vehicle is going to start, it's going to be your introductory trim to our blind view monitor and surround view monitor. So surround view monitor is what most people call a 360 camera. So this vehicle takes a picture or uses the camera from the front end, two on the side and one in the rear to build a full 360 image of everything that is surrounding your Santa Cruz. It's very high quality as well too. So, hello, there we go. So when we hop inside, we'll actually show you what it looks like. I will also say Barry has already driven his vehicle and he's driven it quite some distance to get it over to us at Brantford Kia over here. So there's a little bit of dirtiness under the hood, but don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the 2.5 liter turbocharged GDI 4-cylinder that's under here. So you may hear 4-cylinder in a truck and think those two don't belong. They do, and let me tell you why. This power plant is going to deliver 281 horsepower with 311 pound-feet of torque. And those numbers, they feel even better when you're driving. The torque on this vehicle is a ton of fun. You switch it into sport mode and it feels extremely responsive. It's a lot of fun to drive, and paired with its 8-speed dual clutch transmission, it's engaging. So you'll definitely feel those shifts. They are extremely quick, and I personally love it, and I think Barry does too. When it comes to towing capacity, this is still a truck, so you get 5,000 pounds of towing capacity, and when we go to the back, you'll see the versatility of that open bed. I will also point out the handling on this truck is phenomenal. It very much handles like an SUV, so you can expect comfortable steering, a nice ride, a fantastic ride height, and of course a lot of comfort inside the cabin. What makes the Santa Cruz really, really special is you get all those SUV conveniences, but you do have the open bed versatility, and you're not paying a ton of sacrifice when it comes to the fuel efficiency. All right, let's talk wheels now. These wheels are exclusive to the XRT as well, so they're what we like to call our wrench alloys because they look like wrenches. You get a nice mix of matte black with a little bit of machine finish, Continental beefy tire, check that out. And then this vehicle is of course all-wheel drive. All trim levels of the Santa Cruz here in Canada are standard with all-wheel drive. It does have a front-wheel drive bias, so that's actually going to be quite helpful in the fuel efficiency department. However, whenever you're driving this vehicle on gravel or any sort of uneven terrain, it will adjust itself as needed to give you more power to the rear wheels. You do also have an active terrain mode as well, so you get drive, snow, mud, and sand, and each one will change the torque distribution to make sure you're getting the traction you need in the conditions that you're driving in. Now surrounding your wheel, you may notice a little bit more design to it. So we have seen a little bit of a more styled wheel well on the Santa Cruz, but when you do get the XRT, it just looks a little bit more, I don't want to say heavy, but bold. It stands out a lot. There's a lot of cladding on this vehicle, more on the doors, and that is an XRT exclusive. Before we get to the doors though, let's talk mirrors. So we do have an all black mirror, LED turn signal indicator, and that's the camera that I was mentioning earlier. So this is of course going to piece together your 360 camera, but it'll also give you the advantage of having a blind spot view monitor. So every time you go to indicate a turn or lane change with this vehicle, it'll show you exactly what's happening where you need it most. So no blind spots on this vehicle. Of course, we still recommend doing shoulder checks. It's just nice to have the extra precaution of seeing what's happening over there. It's also helpful when you are parallel parking because you can see just where your wheels are lining up from the curb beside you or the parking guidance lines. Door handles, you may notice they are not body color, and that's intentional. You also get our updated version of keyless or proximity entry, so as long as the key's somewhere on you, put your hand behind the handle, it'll unlock for you, and when you're done driving, put your hand or finger on the ridges here and unlock.
And it works with gloves.
It does work with gloves. You also get digital key to touch as well too, and over-the-air software updates with the Santa Cruz. So if tech is not your forte, this vehicle will handle everything for you. Now, check this out. Door garnishes. So a little bit more cladding on the exterior. You'll also notice the side as well too. Everything matches. It's all that same matte black material, and it just looks good. Like I mentioned earlier, this is XRT special, so if you do want something that's a little bit more city sleek or maybe just I don't want to say a cleaner look, just less styled look, there is the Ultimate or the Preferred, which kind of just has a lot more body color. All right, let's take a look towards the trunk bed. So we do have a little bit of a spoiler overhanging from your rear window. I really do love the rear end of the Santa Cruz, XRT badge exclusive for the XRT, of course. 5,000 pounds of towing capacity, like I mentioned, and it's just a really pretty tailgate. You get beautiful LEDs and a really cool taillight design. Lots of cladding. Each entry step for your box is going to be able to carry up to 440 pounds, and there's quite a few access points. And just like the front, to match some of the exterior styling, we do have a little bit of dark chrome as well too, so it's not all just matte black. There is that chrome to kind of brighten up the look. You get your 2.5 liter turbo badge here with your H-Track all-wheel drive badge. And I'll give it an open. Soft open bed. Ooh, we have the bed extender as well too. Ooh. So I didn't know Barry got this. I haven't checked out the bed yet. Before I hop in, I will point out that the bed liner is sheet molded composite. It's heavy duty, so no Line-X spray-in bed liner needed. Comes from factory, ready with everything you need. The tonneau cover is also standard here in Canada. I know in the US you might have to upgrade to the Venture package to get it, but we get it on all of our trim levels. It is retractable and it's built in. So the best part is you never have to lift this thing out. Oh, it's beautiful. You don't have to climb in to fold it down. Flip the latch forward, let it go. It's always loud, I'm sorry you guys. This bed's also pretty wet, but don't worry you guys, I'll hop in, I'll take one for the team. Now, when it comes to standard functions, it's going to translate across the entire board of trim levels here in Canada. So what we get in the entry model is the same thing we're going to get in the top-of-the-line Ultimate, and I personally love that. You do get LED taillights back here, not taillights, LED lights back here. So tailgate lights, one on each side, and then of course your high-mounted stop lamp also has an LED bed light. Now to trigger that, you will have to hit the button inside the cabin, which Charlotte will show. The tailgate extender is an optional accessory, so you can purchase that from your Hyundai parts department. And it is kind of hiding something, so I will grab this from you, Char.
Sure. Thank you.
Here we go. So this is our rail and cleat system. Essentially, it's an adjustable tie-down point, so you can slide that on its rail, stop it wherever you'd like, and then really work with what kind of cargo you're pulling. I'm not gonna get too close to there because there's a giant puddle, but we do have a D-ring, and there's actually one of 4, so each corner of the bed is going to have a built-in heavy-duty D-ring. These things seriously are tough, so it's just nice to have the convenience of them already in your vehicle. Can't exactly open this right now, but this is just an in-bed cargo shelf, cargo door. So if I open this up, there is actually a 115-volt inverter. There we go, it's a little hard to do while filming. We can probably take a peek there. Right over there, there's an inverter, so you can plug in any sort of exterior device. And on the right-hand side, this one does not have a plug or outlet in. This is just going to be straight storage. It is watertight, so you can lock it up, and of course, all of your precious cargo items will be okay. Now, if you need a little bit of extra watertight storage, let me show you my favorite part of the Santa Cruz. Under the bed, which I can't do because the bed.
Yeah.
The bed extender.
I was thinking about that.
Okay,
Sources trust us.
Sources trust us. Sources, check out Tuesday's video. This floorboard is going to live to provide you with a ton of under the floor storage or under the tailgate storage. It also has a drain plug, so if you want to put ice in there for a tailgate party or a barbecue, you certainly can, and then just get it all out after. Or if you want to put some muddy boots or any sort of dirty items in there, it's super easy to wash thanks to that drain plug. You know what I mean? You don't have a giant puddle sitting in your truck at all times. Very versatile bed. I absolutely love the Santa Cruz because of it. One more thing I'll point out, on the tonneau cover, if you do have it closed all the way and you need extra storage, you can hold up to 220 pounds on top of the tonneau cover. Of course, you're just gonna wanna make sure everything's latched down properly. All right, 67-liter tank for the Santa Cruz, fuel tank, and it's rated at about 10.4 liters per 100 kilometers combined. Now, of course, this vehicle is going to perform better on the highway, which is not exactly revolutionary. Most vehicles are like that. What I love most about this vehicle is the powertrain is so forgiving when it comes to your foot. So if you are someone who does not have a heavy foot, you can definitely see better fuel efficiency with this vehicle, versus if you have a heavy foot and really like the feel of that powertrain, you could see it do a little bit worse. But it's never gonna be as gas guzzling as our other truck, so much better. All right, Charlotte, interior?
Interior.
Okay.
So the XRT package obviously adds on tons of rugged styling accents on the exterior, but the interior, it's all about luxury and it's all about comfort. And that is why I think that this is such a great choice, especially for people who love to do projects around the house, have hobbies where they may need a little bit more truck-like versatility, all of that good stuff. All right, so here's your first look at the interior of the cabin, and we'll take a look at the driver's side door. So first things first, you'll probably notice that we have a little bit more of a mix of some materials when it comes to our crash pad and our paneling. We have a mix of a black leatherette, we've got some black plastic or molding, and then also some fabric and some piano black accents, which I think look really good. Electronically controlled mirrors, and our front 2 windows are one touch with optical detection. Down below, you'll notice we have a bottle holder and one of 6 speakers in this vehicle. This trim does not have the premium sound system, just our regular P3 in-house sound system. All right, one of the big changes when you do pop into the XRT trim does have to do with the seats. Not only are you going to get the inclusion of lumbar support, but you're also going to get a leatherette seat instead of cloth. Now, I mentioned the lumbar support, you're still able to move forward, backwards, up, down, and of course, adjust your backrest too. These seats are also going to be heated, so you know it's going to be very comfortable and nice and keep you nice and warm, especially on days like today where it's quite cold. Oh, turn that off for a second. Over on this side, I'll just show a couple buttons. We have our brightness adjuster for our instrument cluster. There's the bed light for the truck that Gabby mentioned, your traction control, and you also have designated tow modes, which you can enable from here, and you can adjust it in your head unit, which is going to be able to adjust the percentage of the load that you are towing, and basically just going to change up how the powertrain is going to respond depending on the weight of the load to give you the smoothest towing experience possible, and with 5,000 pounds. you're gonna need it. You're gonna like it. Do you wanna come around? Yep. Perfect.
I'll flip the bed extender in a few, probably once we're done the exterior walkthrough, you guys. A couple people asked about sunglass holder. No sunglass holder, unfortunately. But you do have this.
Sorry, I was just switching the profiles to put it into guest. Because we got user profiles. One thing I do want to show you guys on the seats is we do have some nice debossing, the XRT, so that's going to be exclusive to this trim. And even just the way the seats are finished, if you'll notice the insert, it gives it a little bit more of a rugged design too with the thick bordering, so I do like that too, looks good. But Gabby, you tell me about your seat.
So my seat, same configurations as the preferred model. So you get your backrest adjustment, and then of course you have this bar to move it on its rail to bring it closer or further. No height adjustment on the seat though.
Nope, but that's okay. All right, directly in front of me, steering wheel, leather wrapped, heated, very comfortable. We have our Morse code H in the center. So that's for Hyundai, of course. And then we're gonna have a split between our driving controls and our media controls. Obviously media on this side, driving on this side. So if you wanna enable things like your cruise control, your lane following assist, your lane keep assist, and cycle between your center screen, you're gonna be able to do so from right here. Now you can really do a lot with this center screen. On the XRT, this is going to be the start of the dual 12.3-inch screens. So you're going to be able to see, of course, your settings from here, things like tire pressure, your trip computer, see how the vehicle responds to you as the driver. And then actually there's one down at the bottom too that I missed. And also that power distribution to see when you're using all-wheel drive versus just your front-wheel drive. So lots that you can do. The software in this vehicle is fantastic. It's one of my absolute favorite. Really clean look when it comes to our speedometer and our tachometer as well. Now this screen is got to be one of my favorites. So again, 12.3 inches for our media screen. Now this is also going to have the capacity for wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Woohoo! And not only is that done wirelessly, but any updates or in terms of software can be done through over-the-air updates. So that is, again, fantastic with the software. It's one of my absolute favorite things, and I just absolutely love it. If you want to go and adjust any of the safety features that Gabby mentioned on the exterior of the vehicle, you're going to be able to do so through this screen. The nice thing is each of them are going to give a little bit of a blurb describing what they do and how you can change it too. With the XRT trim, it's also going to be the start of ambient lighting. So from here you can go and actually choose up to 65 different colors. I think I should do red to try to match the exterior. Hopefully that should be coming through. Ooh. It's pretty bright, so.
Someone said they needed a Corey Hart reference. So where do you put your sunglasses if you're driving at night?
I wear my sunglasses at night.
You wear them.
Duh. All right. Oh, okay.
Here's some more of the ambient lighting. So on the doors.
Now down below, oh sorry, you go. You do your thing. Down below, this is something that is definitely different for the Santa Cruz this year. Actually, really, this whole middle aisle. So instead of having the screen more built in like what we saw previously and then buttons and dials, we see a little bit more of a disconnect, but still buttons and dials with an extra screen that does provide haptic feedback. So up here is going to be those true buttons and dials for your navigation, or sorry, for your map. You also have the handy dandy search function, so very much helpful if this is your first new vehicle in a while. You can actually search for any of those features like tow modes, ambient lighting, any of those, or contacts, media, anything along those lines. You can search for it in this vehicle, which is great. Real tune knob too, which I love. And then down below, you'll notice our more of a climate control cluster here. You have a dual climate control, so very comfortable if you have multiple people in the vehicle. You also have your heated seats on here and your heated steering wheel with 2 levels of heat. And like I said, it does provide a little bit of haptic feedback. From here, everything else is pretty straightforward. Front and rear defrost. And look, we even have a Santa Cruz icon there for recirculated air. I love little details like that. Very cute. Down below in the center area, you do have USB-Cs if you want to use a wired connection, USB for charging, and this is going to be the start of the wireless phone charger as well. So wireless Apple CarPlay with a wireless phone charger, one of my favorite combinations, especially when that is going to be paired with a push to start button and proximity key on the exterior, because you never have to dig for anything extra, whether that be pulling your key out of your pocket or an extra wire. Love that. So convenient. You even have a 12 volt up here in the front as well. We have a regular gear shift, which is a great choice for this vehicle. Glad it's not a shift by wire. And then down here, you're going to have your button to switch between your drive and terrain modes and a toggle to actually cycle through the different modes. So here you'll have the option for snow, mud, and sand. And then of course, normal, sport, and smart mode for your drive modes. You also have auto hold, electronic parking brake, your downhill braking assist, and this button here. It is of course going to go and bring up your rear view camera and your 360 camera. Now, if the cameras do detect anything, of course, they will bring up a live feed, and you can even switch it from here. And your rear view camera is going to come up as the vehicle is put into reverse. So here's a look at your front view. You'll notice there's multiple different viewpoints that you can pick from. Same thing with your rear view, especially this top-down view if you are towing. And then this full 360 picture, which is going to piece it all together.
My only complaint is, why is that not canyon red?
That is literally what I was going to say. Yeah, it would be really cool if we'd be able to change the color and customize it. But maybe that'll come in the future. You never know. Center storage, there's a decent amount of space in here. Sunglasses, put them right there. Nice space. And then fairly deep, I will say as well. Up top, nice dark headliner, which I like. And we have a sunroof. So this is going to be the introductory trim for your sunroof too. You also will notice up top, we have LED interior lighting. And also our controls here for Hyundai's BlueLink, which is Hyundai's telematics system, or essentially their smartphone integration. Very cool. I'm going to briefly turn the vehicle on, and we will go and show your blind view monitor. On one side, you can see part of our Hyundai sign, and the other side, of course. Do you want to do a glove box review? I realized I skipped that.
Sure. So, under our upstairs open glove box, we have our downstairs private glove box. And we won't go into what's in there.
All right, let's take a look at the second row.
All right. Really cool door handles, you guys.
Now, before I get into the back here, it's a good time to show you guys the fact that we have some storage. I've got a couple manuals in there, and this is going to be a 60-40 split. Both sides do open up, and in there is actually where you're going to find your scissor jack too for your spare tire, temporary spare tire. Mm-hmm. As we hop into the back here, LED lights again, because our lights keep shutting off in the video bay. We can never win, it's fine. But back here, bench seat, 5-seater configuration, quite comfortable, still a synthetic leatherette. Some of the amenities that we do have back here, dual USB-Cs and also rear vents to get some airflow back here as well, which is something I really like. In the center, drop down adjustable armrests with cup holders too. And then you do have your rear window, which does open nice and easy. It is manual. Close it and click it back into place. Good amount of space. Now, obviously, the cabin of this vehicle is going to be very similar to the Hyundai Tucson. You are, of course, going to lose some space in the second row than you would in the Tucson, and that's just, again, because this is a completely different vehicle. It's a unibody, and we have all of that bed storage in the back, too. I will say, despite that, this is still pretty comfortable. It's still going to give you a good amount of space, especially if you do have 4 or 5 people in here. Decent amount of headroom, I will say as well. The dark headliner doesn't always help with showcasing the headroom, but good amount of space too, and actually a decent width when it comes to our middle seat too. All right, I think that's really it.
Got asked if it's hard to check your blind spot. Do you have to rely on the cameras? No, it's not hard to check your blind spot at all. So keep in mind, this is a unibody truck, so it's going to be smaller than your typical half-ton, 3/4 ton for sure. Now, the hardest trucks to check your blind spots in are going to be crew cabs with an extended box or anything like that. Now, this vehicle still does a really good job of having a lot of open areas to look through. So you can definitely look out the back window here. Of course, your true rear window, and just of course the blind spot view cameras give you an extra bonus insight as well too. So there's no issues with checking your real blind spot, doing a shoulder check, but you do have the added benefit of the advanced technology. So very handy. I will say, just for, I guess, personal experience, Tim's truck is a crew cab, and it's a 3/4 ton truck. It does have cameras on its mirrors, but they're only active when the vehicle is towing something. So, I mean, that's probably when you need it most, but on your typical drive to work, you're not towing something, right? It's pretty hard to check those blind spots.
Tim uses his truck as a commuter car.
Yes. Okay, let's see.
Let's see if there's any questions.
I'm going to move the bed extender. Okay.
Okay, I'm just looking. Oh, I'm not even in frame. I'm sorry, guys. I am just looking to see if there's any questions. So if you guys have any questions about this vehicle or any of the other Santa Cruzes in the trim lineup, or any trims in the Santa Cruz lineup, there we go, feel free to post them in the chat now.
I'm just going to take this.
Yeah.
So now that the bed extender has been flipped, which by the way is very, very easy, I will show you. You just flip it over. I can show you the under the floor storage. So a little hard.
Do you need me to hold that for you?
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
I guess actually now I can't.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Hey, Chuckers.
How goes it all?
Good, we're filming right now,
I can't
just so you know.
actually show you that. Let me see. Oh,
See you later.
See ya.
That wasn't on film.
Oh,
It is, I
boy.
just told you we were filming.
You can see where the release is for it. It is in the way right now, but I'm not going to take this off, but you can see you can lift it over. Not with a bed extender though.
I think this is the first time we get to show the bed extender though.
There you go. There's a better look at it.
So from there, I don't know if you guys can see, wait, free will, use of free will. All right, periscoping it, drain plug. I'm just showing composite.
All right, check it out. At least you guys know it's there if you didn't want to watch our previous video. But super cool, lots of different aftermarket accessories and of course Hyundai supported accessories for the Santa Cruz. So it's a ton of fun, and it's really a vehicle that you can adapt based off what kind of adventures you like to take your truck on. It's also a great pick if you are someone who doesn't need a truck every single day of the week, but really appreciates having your own vehicle. You don't have to borrow your friend's truck, your dad's truck, that kind of thing. But you're not gonna waste a ton of money on fuel like you would if you just bought a half-ton truck, or if you're like Tim, a 3/4 ton truck.
I think that something like this is great if you are a DIYer, so if you do a lot of home renovations or stuff like that for yourself. If you're an outdoorsman, I think it's great for accommodating any hobbies, whether that be, fishing or some bigger stuff too. And I also think that this would be, where was it going? Oh, any Facebook Marketplace pickups.
Yeah, if you're a Facebook,
that's our hobbies.
yeah, if you're a Facebook Marketplace fan, this is the truck for you guys. Because at the end of the day, you're not hauling around a giant truck. You can park this in your garage.
And
It'll
if you're doing a city pickup, you can park this easily on the street too.
Not to mention, it is a ton of fun to drive.
And it just takes regular gas. That's right.
All right, we'll answer a couple other questions.
Yeah,
I
see
look
what we
like
got.
Bob the Builder with my boots on right now. I just caught a glimpse of myself on the
Builder. It's always so humbling, like seeing yourself back in the playback.
Hyundai got access to superchargers today. Kia's been postponed to end of March. So so they have postponed it. I haven't found a date for it yet.
No, I've heard things like this. I've heard it being postponed to the spring. I haven't heard any official confirmation on that though. But that's kind of what the rumor mill has been circulating. So I feel like there may be some truth to it, but I haven't read anything official yet. So I can't quite speak to that right now.
Is there a color matched wheel trim as well? So no. These are the wheels for the XRT.
They're pretty sweet though. The wrench alloys, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
We see that on the Tucson XRT as well.
It's definitely one of my more favorite changes that Hyundai's made recently, exterior-wise. I think it's cool. I don't think that could fit a dual sport. It would need to be towed. Yeah, so there's some things you can't fit in this box, and we're saying it's not
okay.
Yeah, it's not a 6-foot box. No, the wheel well trim. Oh, okay. So no.
No, it's that more robust, I'll say, black cladding.
It's cladding, yeah. Orb, no, just black. Thank you, Joseph. I will say, if you like something that has a lot more body color or paint matched finish and less black plastic, then the Ultimate might be the better trim for you. It definitely has a lot more of what I like to call the sleek accents. I'm not saying this car is not sleek. Actually, this car is not sleek. It's bold. So
There you
it is. Why didn't Gabby get this instead? I wanted to be payment free. This vehicle, while it's still a great value pick, it's not exactly in the under 10 grand range, which is what I was going for.
There's nothing cooler than financial freedom,
Yes.
as we all know.
I love the Santa Cruz, but again, yeah, not in my price range. All right, is that it for today's
I think
video?
so. I'm not really seeing too many more questions, which is good. I think we're just under the 30-minute mark. So again, we want to give a huge, huge thank you to Barry for letting us film his vehicle today and for trusting us with it. So yeah.
All right,
Thank him in the comments.
Thank you so much, Barry. Thank you guys for watching, and please leave a like if you haven't already. It really helps with the channel, and it's free to do so.
And subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Smooches.